Good evening. This is Brad Cattell from Tiny Texas Houses. I am going to go ahead and show you how we built one of our simplest salvage material stair sets for the front of your house. Could be for inside for that matter. This is done with simply using 4x6s, and you'll see here a matter of how we put this all together. Effectively, in this particular instance, you'll see Dale is just kind of sizing all the parts as we pick them out. I'm cutting them up and making the 4x6s that are going to be the top step, the next step, and the bottom step, and then making the cross members that we're going to screw against them. The top pieces you'll see just kind of hanging over right here are actually done in tongue and groove in this particular instance, 1.5 inches thick. These are normally kind of considered scraps because they're under 5 foot long, 4 foot long, in this case about 3 foot long. The verticals you can see right here that we're going to be using, the 4x6s, you can see the grain. Most of the old time they were core cuts. So if you stand them vertically, they don't rot as easily as if you're going to lay them on their side, of course, because they'll drain the water out of them. But they'll also wick it too. So what you do have to be careful of is to not have them wicking the water up as they get wet. If you have them on concrete or something a little bit higher, they'll do much better if they're not on the ground. This shows Carlos going around and he's actually applying the caulk, in this case a silicone, 30-year, 35-year silicone, in between each one of the sections that are going to be assembled to create the sides of the treads. By doing this, we're trying to keep the moisture from getting inside of them and allowing them to at least resist that over time so they don't rot from the inside. The cracks you see in them naturally is what's called checking, and that's because as the board dries out, it cracks to the core. And most of the old 4x6s and 4x4s in a lot of cases are core cuts. The pieces, as he's putting them together, you can see where the treads are going to go. Ultimately, he's fitting them all, usually with a brace at the bottom. You can see he's got something at the bottom to kind of line them up. And he gets the last one all caulked and ready to go. It'll be laid on its side with the rest of them. And then we'll proceed to go ahead and clamp them all in order to get them super tight together before we start putting on the bracing on the sides. Same situation, you want to keep putting this as a silicone, a caulk layer, so that as we press these up against each other, we seal them to keep from getting them creating such a water trap that it would drain inside of it and cause it to rot from the inside out. Here you can see Carlos knocking everything in, getting it all lined up, and we're using a really nice old-fashioned clamp. This probably dates back 40, 50 years at least, maybe longer than that. The wood clamp that we're using to hold it all together. Again, by clamping it all together, then we can put our 2x4s, which we're using for our side bracing. And again, we're using a very tight grain, relatively knot free side brace. This allows it to tolerate the moisture over time, but also to be stronger and take less nails and screws. We're using a ceramic coated exterior grade star drive 3.5 inch screw generally for this application. I like it. The ceramic coating helps keep them from breaking down and rusting outside. They're an exterior screw, but the Torx head, I'll tell you, a lot of times in this old wood, you will flat tear off a Phillips head screw or ruin the top of it trying to get it in, and if you have to pull it back out again, you might pretty much be over with. With a Torx head, at least our star head, you have more gripping points, and they seem to hold up much better against the really old wood. Carlos is doing a few more trims on that, and then he gets the upper brace cut to size, and this one is going to go ahead and tie the second tier all the way together. You'll notice the way he's doing that. He's also lining it up so it goes across the bottom of the step. So you're getting two things holding the tread up above. One of them is the 2x, and the other is the 4x6. Both of those will carry the tread. Now you can see this assembled from the side view. This will be the inside view. You won't see it from the outside. After he's done both of them, we come back and we put the treads on. In this case, you can see Same application, we're putting in the silicone, trying to limit the amount of potential. Now, another trick we did in this case is to go ahead and screw these into place, but we want to leave a little teeny bit of a gapping in there, not too much, between the boards themselves so that the water can actually flow through there, but be tight enough once you silicone it that it's forms sort of like one board. The idea of being able to swell a little bit is a kind of a factor in all this, because they are going to get wet, they are going to swell. We did find, though, with this method that it seems to hold up pretty well. The swelling doesn't tear apart the steps. Now, we have cheated on this one and actually did add the side rails on it, and that's effectively just taking your 2x4s and notching your treads and then making those risers depending on the angle you want to go at. In this case, we matched the angle of the stairs. We did use a 7-inch riser, and then the side pieces are simply a 2x that we've taken and notched and put into there. We'll show you more on railings in another episode, because there's lots of different ways to do the railings, but in that case it was a fairly simple one, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you have more questions, of course, feel free to email us and we'll give you more information, and hope you'll get back with us. We have a few more different, I have a ladder stair we're going to be doing, as well as a different form of stair that's pretty universally liked so far. Scratch that part. We also have another stair for indoors that we call a storage stair, and that allows you to have full pantry storage going up your stairwell from bottom to top, and it's incredible how much you can store in there. Please check back with us. Thank you very much for visiting.